This is Brian Miller, lead negotiator for the West Sonoma County Teachers Association, and I'm here to tell the district why they do not prioritize teachers and what it would mean if they did prioritize teachers. So let's first get to what does it even mean to prioritize teachers. This is the second interim budget. You can see it's a 3-year projection. What I've highlighted in yellow shows that no additional salary increase is budgeted in any of the years. That means 0% for teachers every year. And so then what happens is we go to the negotiating table and the district says, oh, we don't have any money. Well, of course you don't have any money. You didn't budget any money. And the result from that is that teachers lose. Let's take a closer look at 2018-19 to get a better picture. We can see here the Consumer Price Index, okay, the CPI for the state is 3.58%. That means that we would need a 3.58% raise in order for the buying power of our salaries not to decrease. In the Bay Area, it's 4.5%. The COLA, which is the cost of living adjustment that the state gives the district each year, was 3.77% in 18-19. Of that, the district offered us 0%, none of it. We didn't see a dime of that cost of living adjustment. And when that's how you prioritize teachers, this is what you get. You get a district that's $12,000 behind the state average. You get a district that's $18,695 behind the high school district state average. The problem is that our salaries are too low. But this is how the district sees our salaries. They see our salaries as a problem. Not a problem that they're too low, but simply a problem. 3 of the 4 things they're complaining about in this deficit spending projection has to do with teacher compensation. Keep in mind, this is the same budget where the services line item went up by $700,000. $700,000 increase to the services line item, and it wasn't even a bullet point. Not even a bullet point as one of their projected causes of deficit spending. And it's the same year that $5.7 million put us at 22.6% of our budget going to the services line item, vastly out of range with every other high school district in the state of California that I looked at. But yet, it's not even a bullet point. And when that's how you approach prioritizing teachers, this is what you get. School Services recommends to spend 85 to 90% of their budget on people. Last year we were at 77%. This year we're projecting around 72%. Next year 73%. That is not that the state needs to give us more money. They do, but there's 2 prongs. The state needs to do better, but we need to do better with the money we have. 4% of our budget is $1 million. So we're looking at multiple $1 million that has been allocated away from people and towards something else. And of course, that results in us falling further and further behind. This is how far behind we've been from the state average since 2005 and 2006. I mean, that's a staircase you don't want to walk up. And you don't even want to know where the next step is going to be. Because the district wants us to take a 0% raise while the rest of the state is giving their teachers raises. I don't even think the next step will fit on that graph. You can't operate like that. You can't continuously spend less and less and less and less of your budget on people. Look back in 13-14, 41% of our budget went to the salaries of the certificated unit. We're projecting in 2021 it'll be down to 31.6. Unacceptable. While other line items are increasing. And this is not the same slide I showed before. This is from the second interim. The slide I showed before was when we adopted the budget, and it was down at 5.6 million, 5.7 million. Now it's gone all the way up to 6.1. $1.1 million more than we spent last year. That's how they prioritize their budget. Let me show you what it might look like if we did prioritize teachers. You might see something like this. Now I wrote created by Brian Miller just to show that this slide never actually happened, unfortunately. Because the CBO reports back to the board on a lot of things. Some of it's very important, others not that important. If there was actually a goal for teachers' salaries, which you would think there would be if they were prioritized, the CBO would be reporting back on the status of that goal. You would see this. They would say, well, here's how our teachers' salaries are doing. And we would have known that we were doing really, really poorly. And we would probably miss our goal a few years. And when that happened, you would see another slide that says, okay, we cannot let that happen again. What is going on? And we would have said, oh, well, which line item is increasing that's taking away from our teachers? Hey, we need to continue to allocate cost of living adjustments. And you would have caught, the district would have seen this problem with the services line item years ago. They only saw it this year because we brought it up, because this is how they see teacher salaries. The problem with our salaries is that they're too low. And the good news is that's a problem you can solve, because that's not a problem that necessarily needs more funding. More funding would be good, but this is about the funding we do have. That's not the state of California needing to give us more money. That's us needing to do better with the money we have. That's not the state of California needing to give us more money. That's us needing to do better with the money we have. Same speech. We're falling behind within the state. So if the state does provide more money, which I hope they will, these districts, which are clearly better at prioritizing teachers anyway, are just going to give their teachers more of a raise. And we're going to fall even further behind. We have to change the way we approach budgeting. And right now, there is no dire situation. Yes, it needs to get better, but it's at $80.7 billion. Governor's new budget, windfall, pension relief. In February 8th of 2019, School Services says the Legislative Analysis Office notes that this pension relief is being proposed for districts when funding is at historically high levels. Funding has grown by nearly $22 billion over the past 6 years, significantly outpacing growth in pension costs. Look, the state needs to do better, but we can't feel powerless and say only the state can save us. We can save ourselves right here, right now. Part of the problem, this is a graph of the total unrestricted ending balance in our savings account, what it was projected to be at the second interim, and then what it ended up being for real with the unaudited actuals. And this is why when the membership, when we talk about the budget and the district talks about the budget, it almost seems like we're talking about a different budget. That's because we, as the union, we live in the green bars. We analyze things based on what actually happened. The district lives in the blue bars. They live in their projections that we know are historically inaccurate, vastly inaccurate. In fact, just to show you, right now with this graph, if I was to spend, let's say, 5 seconds looking at it, and I had to guess where the next green bar would be, I would just say, probably right there. That seems to be the trend. That's probably where it is. The district puts together an entire second interim budget and projects it to be way down there. And I guarantee you my 5-second analysis is going to be more accurate. Around the county, districts are addressing the underfunding of teachers in Sonoma County. Oak Grove is addressing it. Mark West is addressing it. Gravenstein is addressing it. Santa Rosa City is addressing it. SCO is addressing it. Oakland is addressing it. LA is addressing it. And if West Sonoma County does not address it, that situation is going to get off the charts. That bar, you will not be able to see it anymore. You won't see the top of it. Because you can't put students first if you put teachers last. You must prioritize teachers in the budget, and that's the only way we're going to move forward together. Thank you.